Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary of Lost Tribes of Amazon by Joshua Hamme. Eliana Martinez and Robert Franco, both of them are Colombian experts on Amazon Indians, and they embarked on a rescue mission in the Amazon jungle so that they can confirm the existence and location of an uncontacted tribe in the rainforest between the Coquita and Putumayo rivers. Colombia had set up Rio Pure National Park in 2002, and the main purpose of this is safeguarding these Indians. But because the exact whereabouts of these Indians were unknown, the protection that the government could offer was strictly only theoretical. And after 2 years of preparation, Martinez and Franco reached the park's western perimeter after 4 hours and flew low over primary rainforest. They ticked off a series of GPS points marking likely Indian habitation zones. They found a traditional longhouse, which is generally called as maloca, which is constructed of palm leaves and opened at one end, standing in a clearing deep in the jungle. The vast wilderness seemed to press in on this island of human habitation, emphasizing its solitude. Back in Bogota, the team employed advanced digital technology to enhance the photos of the Maloca, which they believed to belong to two indigenous groups, the Yuri and the Pase, perhaps the last isolated tribes in the Colombian Amazon. For decades, the governments of Amazon nations viewed them as unwanted remnants of backwardness. In 1987, Brazil set up the Department of Isolated Indians inside FUNAI, that is, Fundação Nacional do Indian, Brazil's Indian agency. Other Amazon nations have taken measures to protect the indigenous peoples, such as Peru's Manu National Park, Colombia's 14.8 million acres of national parks, and Res Garuda's 66.7 million acres of private reserves owned by indigenous peoples. However, the conservation groups critiqued Peru for winking at ecotourism companies that take visitors to gape at isolated Indians. Brazil set up the Department of Isolated Indians in 1987, which secured the creation of a main-sized tract of Amazon rainforest called the Javari Valley Indigenous Land. Today, the Javari Reserve is home to the greatest concentration of isolated groups in the Amazon and the world. Other Amazon nations have taken measures to protect the indigenous peoples, such as Peru's Manu National Park and Colombia's efforts to double the size of Chiribucat Park. The Ticuna tribe in Colombia has been a natural environmentalist since the 1960s, when Colombia began luring them from the jungle with schools and health clinics along the Amazon River. However, the population proved too large to sustain its subsistence, agricultural based economy, and they turned to tourism. In 2011, the Ticuna voted to ban tourism due to the garbage left behind, the indignity of having cameras showed in their faces, the prying questions of outsiders into the most secret aspects of Indian culture and heritage, and the uneven distribution of profits. The Yuri and Pase group tribes have been running from civilization since the first Europeans set foot in South America half a millennium ago. They originated near the Amazon River during pre-Columbian times and later migrated 150 miles north to the Putumayo to escape Spanish and Portuguese slave traders. Around 1900, the rubber boom led to the disappearance of the Pase and Yuri peoples, who were believed to have been driven into extinction. In 1969, a jaguar hunter and fur trader Julian Gill and his guide Alberto Mirana disappeared near the Rio Bernardo, a tributary of the Cacuta. The Colombian Navy organized a search party, seized an Indian man and women and 4 children as hostages, and brought them back to the settlement of La Pedrera. A couple days after the boat journey, the author hiked through the rainforest outside Litikia to visit a maloca belonging to the Utoto tribe, one of the many groups of Indians forced to abandon their territories in the Colombian Amazon during the rubber atrocities early in the past century. Unlike Yuri and Pase, who fled deeper into the forest, the Utotos relocated to the Amazon River. Despite enormous pressure to give up their traditional ways or sell themselves as tourist attractions, a handful of the Utotos had managed to keep the ancient culture alive. A group of Utitos, descendants of those chased by robber barons around 1925, lived in a long house built of woven palm leaves in the Colombian rainforest. When the author arrived, the house was empty except for a middle aged woman peeling the fruits of the peach palms and an elderly man wearing a soiled white shirt, ancient khaki pants, and tattered Converse sneakers without shoelace. The Utitos believed they dwelt at the center of the world and built a Malauca to symbolize the womb of traditions. Robert Franco, a researcher, uses photographs and GPS coordinates from his reconnaissance mission over Rio Pioro National Park to lobby the Colombian government to strengthen protection. Around the national park, he envisions round the clock surveillance by semi assimilated Indians living on the park perimeter and rangers within the park boundaries, as well as an early warning system to keep out intruders. The Nukak tribe, 1,200 isolated Indians who inhabited the forest northwest of Rio Pure National Park, had a tragic history of isolation and assimilation. The government wanted to repatriate the Nukak to a reserve created for them in the east of San Joshua del Guare, and Colombia's National Heritage Council approved an urgent plan to safeguard their culture and language. Some anthropologists, conservationists, and Indian leaders argue that they can be a middle way between the Stone Age isolation of the Yuri and the abject assimilation of the Tijuana. The Yucana tribe continued to live in Malacas in the rainforest while integrating somewhat with the modern world. However, for many Amazon Indians, assimilation has brought poverty, alcoholism, unemployment, or dependence on tourism. Franco suspects that Yuri and Pase are desperate to avoid this fate. On the second day of his aerial reconnaissance, thick drifting clouds made it impossible to get a prolonged view of the rainforest floor, leading the team to conclude that the tribe had called upon its shamans to send the intruders a message to stay away from them. This is the summary. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.